Hi, and welcome to this episode of Your Future, Your Finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn. Here we interview a variety of experts on the topics of personal finance, personal growth, and current events here in Maryland, D.C., and nationally. Today we have the opportunity to move away from purely financial topics and consider another important goal in your life and retirement, which is your physical health. Join me today to discuss how to eat for healthy aging is nutritionist Sharon McRae, based out of Columbia, Maryland. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Sure. Tell us a little about yourself and background.
So I am a wife and a mother of three, and I'm a plant-based certified health coach. I work with clients who are interested in transitioning to a whole food plant-based diet for improved health. And I'm also an instructor for the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine's Food for Life program. So I teach nutrition and cooking classes in the Maryland area, generally speaking in Columbia and Laurel. And then I'm the organizer of a popular meetup group called the Columbia Maryland Forks Over Knives Meetup Group.
Wonderful.
We meet monthly for potlucks and restaurant events throughout the year. So
Wonderful.
those are my hats.
So how are we doing as a country? Are we getting healthier? Are we getting better or worse?
I think all we need to do is look around. Everyone is struggling with something. Most people are on at least one prescription medication. A lot of people are suffering with weight, excess weight that they're trying to lose. People, it seems, are getting sicker and sicker.
So when we think about nutrition advice, the first thing I think I hear is that it's a little bit overwhelming. What do you think you can do in terms of trying to become smarter and learn?
Well, the problem with nutrition advice is we don't get education in school. There's no one unified message. Most of us get what we learn about nutrition from the media, from the school system, who tells us, to follow the USDA dietary guidelines, US dietary guidelines, and there's no unified statement about nutrition. So it does become very confusing. You'll read a headline in Time magazine that says butter is back. You should start eating lard again, and of course, who believes that, right? But I think it's important to educate yourself. And the way that I became educated was I read a fantastic book by Dr. Joel Fuhrman called Eat to Live. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Fuhrman, but he's pretty well known, and he's written a lot of different books in the area of nutrition. He has a PBS special that's pretty popular that a lot of people have seen. And that was how I opened my eyes to the understanding that there's a very powerful connection between what we put in our body and our health. In other words, our health is not necessarily just dependent on our genes. Many of us think, oh, my mother was, sick, my mother died of cancer. And so, you think, oh, the writing's on the wall for me, I'm going to get diabetes or cancer or heart disease or whatever it is. But that doesn't necessarily have to happen because there's this whole other area now called epigenetics, which is the actual environment that we're in, and that includes the foods that we eat. So it's a very powerful connection, and we actually do have a lot of control over our health by making healthier choices.
On this show, we often have guests on that talk about the topic of retiring or aging or financial goals. Do you think specifically on the topic of aging that there is advice you can offer people that would help them?
Absolutely, yeah. So what the research is showing now is that when you eat a diet that's as close to natural whole foods as possible, so that means vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, legumes, and nuts and seeds. And that's the predominant part of your diet. They've done studies in what they call blue zones, which are areas of the world where people live to the hundreds and beyond. And one of the things all of these populations have in common is that they're all eating a plant-based diet. Generally speaking, the majority of what they're eating, it's not the processed foods that we're eating in this country now, and it's starting to spread into different parts of the world. It's healthy, whole, natural foods. And when you do that, you live longer, but you also live better. You have more vitality. And there are studies that show, not to get too technical here, but our genes are organized in what we call chromosomes in our cells. And at the end of each chromosome, there is sort of a cap, which is called a telomere. And as the cells age, the telomeres get shorter. When they've done studies and they've looked at people's diets and how they influence telomere length, they've found that people who are eating the way that I've described, the whole food plant-based diet, their telomere length actually increases, meaning their cells are not aging as rapidly. And we see this, in my potlucks that I have every month, we do testimonials, and we see people coming in their 70s and 80s, and my dad is one of them, who literally look like they are reverse aging. They're
Wow.
still healthy. My dad is still working. He does physical labor. So, and he's 81. So we see this all the time, and there's no question that, you can age the way that most Americans age, and as you age, you spend more money on medication and procedures, and you're running to the doctor's office, and then you get more and more incapacitated with the years, or you can live a vital, healthy life up until the day you die.
Wonderful. Well, that's good news. Gives us hope.
Yeah.
Another thing with food is it seems there will be a news article that says, according to such and such study, you should now eat or not eat such and such thing. What do we think of the actual science of those studies and how they work?
That's the problem. We don't know. It's very questionable. And so one source I always recommend to people is a wonderful website called nutritionfacts.org, which is run by a physician, Dr. Michael Greger, and everything on it is free. And what he does is he actually goes through the literature, the scientific papers, and he digests them, so to speak, in a form that is understandable by the layperson. So it's a video clip that comes out. And you can look up when you go to his website, you use the search function, and you can pretty much Google any topic that you want, and he will break it down for you. The other thing is, if you are scientifically oriented like I am, you can go directly to the source and go to pubmed.gov, I believe it is, and look up the paper for yourself. It's important to look at who funded the study, because a lot of times there are interests behind the scenes, and then if you do have the scientific knowledge, you can sort of break it down and see, was it a big enough population size, was it random, were there controls on it, so you can actually see if it appears to be a valid study or not.
Earlier on, you mentioned foods to be shooting for. Would you say that there are some foods you would stay away from?
Yes, I would definitely stay away from processed foods. Processed foods make up the majority of the American diet today. And when I say processed, I generally mean anything that's in a box, a bottle, a bag, or a carton that doesn't have one or two ingredients. And the rule of thumb I like to use is always read the ingredients. Don't just read the nutrition label, read the ingredients. And if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body. I always tell my clients, your body is not a dumpster. Don't put garbage into it. Put real food into it. Because it's like if you had a really wonderful sports car, you wouldn't put Kool-Aid into it to make it run, right?
Correct.
You would put the right fuel into it. It's the same thing with your body. You can't put garbage into your body and expect optimal performance. When we're young, when we're, teenagers and, into our 20s, we can get away with a lot more abuse. But as we start to age, and I'm in my 50s now, as we start to age, we see that there are definite detriments done to the body, and that's when we start to see the sudden heart attacks and the medications piling up, and it's just not the way to go.
Wonderful. You mentioned earlier, I think, but just to summarize them again, a couple doctors or organizations that you think put out good information?
I mentioned nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Joel Furman, he has a wonderful website, drfurman.com. PCRM, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, that's pcrm.org. Those are probably the top three that I go to. There's another one, nutritionstudies.org, that's really good. There's lots of great ones.
Wonderful. And how can folks find you online?
They can go to eatwell-staywell.com, and all of the information about my coaching program and the events that I do throughout the year are there, including information about our meetup, which is on meetup.com under Columbia, Maryland Forks Over Knives Meetup Group.
Wonderful. Well, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it very much. We're going to have to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you very much.
Selecting the right foods for you and your family is important. Fruits and vegetables provide important nutrients that are needed for a well-balanced meal. Balance your diet with at least 50% of fruits and vegetables at every meal, because good nutrition is essential and will help you lead a healthier, better life. Who says eating healthy can't taste great? Move more, eat healthy. For more information, please visit our website. Made possible with funding from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I want you to share your recipes and pin it to win it.
Don't play with your vegetables. Eat them.
And I really suggest you eat your vegetables. If you want to be healthy,
Eat more vegetables.
Celery.
eat more vegetables.
Kale.
Hi, and welcome back. Following the last segment where we discussed nutrition and its impact on personal wellness, we now have the opportunity to learn more about physical fitness. To do that, we are speaking with the brand new General Manager of SportFit right here in Laurel, Miss Gigi Nash. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me and giving
Sure.
me this opportunity to reach our audience.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your background and what's going on at SportFit.
Certainly. The nutshell version of it is I've been in the fitness business for about 20 years now. I practiced law prior to that for 10 years.
Wonderful.
So this is a career change for me. And I've done everything from teaching classes to personal training to now I have the position, feel very happy with my position as the general manager at SportFit Laurel.
So on this show, we often have guests who talk about financial goals and aging and retirement. What would you say are some of the main themes as aging well and staying healthy?
It is so important as we get older to invest in our health, and not just in the medical traditional way, but in the preventative way. So we have to take care of our bodies, we have to take care of our health. And one of the best ways to do that is to get moving, is to stay fit and find something you like to do and do it.
What do you think are some mistakes that people do when they get motivated and try to get healthier?
They start off gung-ho. They're ready to go. They're doing it 7 days a week, and then the next week they're sore and they can't move.
Yeah.
So you have to take it slow, go low intensity. I think one of the things that we had talked about previously was the new guidelines that have come out from Health and Human Services, and one of the things that they really talk about is go slow, keep your intensity low, intensity, and then build from there.
Are there exercises that are specific to the aging process as opposed to just regular working out?
Yes. As we get older, our balance becomes a challenge. And I think one of the things that most people feel as they get older, they are fearful of falling. A lot of my older clients, I hear that all the time. So working on your balance is crucial. Strength training is crucial. You have to strengthen the muscles that support the joints so that your recovery time becomes less.
Now you mentioned those government guidelines. What did that say? What were the changes?
Well, for the average adult, they're saying you should be working out, doing something, an hour or so a day, 5 days a week. For older adults, they dial it back a little bit. But I believe if you can do it, because the flip side of that is injury. It could be isolation, so it does more than just for your body. You're working on things that can help your mind, it helps your spirit. So those are all things that we really do need to invest in as we get older.
Now an hour a day, but I think did the guidelines stress that like really anything counts?
Yes, you don't have to be in your CrossFit class an hour a day, 5 days a week. Walking, hiking, movement, getting up from your desk. A lot of us have sedentary jobs. Getting up from your desk and actually just moving all count.
Working in a gym environment, are there things you can point to where people sort of get off track, or New Year's resolutions, or with the holidays here?
Yeah, people's motivation to get fit in a minute is heightened during the holidays because we're eating, we're sedentary, it's cold outside, we don't want to be doing things outside. So we try to talk to people about lifestyle changes because New Year's resolutions, as we all know, tend to fade away when the first big thing happens in your life. You can't get back to the gym. So it's about working out consistently over a long period of time and making it part of your life.
For folks who want to learn more about this and what they should be doing other than working with a personal trainer, are there sources or organizations that you think would be helpful for them to know? Oh,
definitely. The internet is a wonderful opportunity to connect. There's always local rec centers. Of course, there are the health clubs like I run, but also there are different online organizations that you can virtually work out with, which is a new thing that's happening recently.
Wonderful. All right, and then what's going on at SportFit these days?
Oh, we have some great things going on. One of the things that I love about our club is the racquetball. It's coming back. I never thought I would say that, but
Yeah.
we have tournaments, we have leagues. We're starting a children's program that we're going to be working, hopefully, with the city on. We have a program called Gift of Health, where you can actually give the gift of health. So if people are interested, I can definitely give them that information. But we're thinking out of the box when it comes to wellness and fitness and connecting with people.
Wonderful. And then its location and website?
Yes, we are located at 204 Fort Meade Road, right here in Laurel. Our number is 301-953-1414, and we're on social media. SportFit Laurel Racket on Instagram, SportFit Laurel Racket on Facebook. Just reach out to us because we'd love to have you.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. That'll do it. We've run out of time for this segment. We thank you for watching Your Future, Your Finances, and hope you have some takeaways. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn, and if you have any questions for the show or one of the guests, you may contact me at bkuhn@psgclarity.com. Lastly, as always, a thank you to Laurel TV for their production and airing of this show. You can watch the show every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Laurel TV, Comcast Channel 71 and 996 for HD, and Verizon Channel 12, or the live stream at laureltv.org. If you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free also to like it and comment and follow the Laurel TV channel. See you next time.